The Culture Pop Podcast is brought to you by the law offices of Jacob Emrani.
Accident or injury, call Jacob Emrani. Call Jacob.
Hey, it's Mase. If you or a friend or loved one is injured in an accident, the first person you should call is my friend Jacob. When I did this, Jacob was great. He helped me by talking through the next steps, which really put my mind at ease. When you're injured in an accident, you got to have an expert. That's why you call Jacob, just like I did. Call Jacob, 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB, or visit calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Culture Pop Podcast. I'm Steve Mason, along with Sue �辰𝐫𝐿𝐼𝐧𝐠. This is the show where we talk about everything happening in the world of pop culture. Great show today. Actor Eric Roberts is going to join us. Made so many great movies over the years and has a great memoir that is coming out right now. In the meantime, Sue �辰𝐿𝐼𝐧𝐿, how's summer going? I mean, you did a triathlon. We haven't talked. You don't call. You don't write. What's going on?
Well, I did a triathlon. I did my fifth one.
Nice.
And it was very challenging. The swim was ridiculous because the water was so choppy.
Oh.
And it freaked me out because I was just getting over being sick.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went and got an x-ray because I've been coughing like crazy. And I wanted to know if maybe I had pneumonia, and I didn't want to do the race if I had some sort of, congestive,
whatever,
situation. So I got a clear, my lungs were clear. So I said, okay, I haven't trained in 3 weeks, but I've done this before. No problem. I get in the water and it's so horrible that like a couple of minutes into swimming,
mm-hmm.
I could hardly breathe.
Oh, really?
And yeah. And I thought, then I had a panic attack because I thought, I just started it.
Yeah.
And if I can't get through the swim, I don't get through the triathlon. And it was a long swim. It was, it's like, I don't know, half a mile. It's longer than the one I did prior, 750 meters. So I just relax.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing the breaststroke and I was doing the dog paddle a little bit. There were people around me, and this is something I've never heard.
Mm-hmm.
People
really?
who are struggling. They have volunteers that are on surfboards that are strategically placed throughout the swim.
Yeah.
And there were people that were hanging on to the volunteer surfboard because they couldn't swim.
Right.
And so I stopped. I started. Finally, I was like, just do it. And the crazy thing, I had the best time. I beat my time from last year.
Nice.
And because I made it up in the bike and the run.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
So
how many more of these are you going to do? Just
I'm
going to do these to the end?
I'm going to just keep on doing it. I'm going to do another one in Pasadena, and the swim is actually in a pool.
Oh, see, that's better.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Sue, I announced today on the radio, and I'll say things here that I don't say on the radio. I announced my retirement from sports. I am no longer going to participate in sports.
Oh, okay.
So I played in the 7-10 All-Star softball game 2 weeks ago, I guess. And I don't know if you saw this on social media, but I did have the hardest hit ball of the night.
Of course I saw it. I commented on it. You hit a double, right?
Yeah, I hit a double. I thought it was gone, but I hit a double. I was so excited. So apparently I had a big leg kick when I was doing this. And after the game, I was like, oh, my knee. Oh. I'd never had knee issues before. So a couple of days go by and my knee is still. So I went to see Dr. Clapper. And Dr. Clapper gets me into an MRI machine. And thankfully, nothing is torn, but I have a sprained meniscus. So that's it. It's over. I'm done. There was a kid who was 16 years old playing on my soccer team or my softball team. What the hell am I doing? What am I doing playing with everybody?
Well, you said you did a high leg kick.
Yes.
Now, is that something you haven't done in the past, or just you did it this time and it came back to bite you?
Did it this time, came back to bite me. Now, I am part of, Sue, the loyalty program over at Radnet, the MRI facility in Marina Del Rey. So first I go there. This was maybe 6 weeks ago. I go there because I'm having terrible hip issues, just my left hip. So I'm like, all right, Clapper, what's going on with my hip? Go get an MRI. It turns out it's like severe arthritis or whatever the hell it is. And there's nothing really to do about it except Tylenol. So then my neck is terrible right now. So I go to the MRI. I go see Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt sends me to the MRI. They're like, hey, Mase, what's up? When I walk in, because I'm getting another one. And I get this, and now I'm getting a needle in the neck. I've got a herniated disc here. Then the knee thing. And again, they're like, hey, welcome back. Nice to see you. So I was there 3 times in a month. And they're like, you are one of our best customers, is what they told me.
You know what it sounds like? You sound like Dustin Hoffman in The Graduate with, hi, Mr. Gladstone, every time you went to the hotel to have an affair.
Right,
hello, Mr. Gladstone.
Yeah, it's been crazy, but I'm done with it. I'm over it.
So is this after 60 Michigas?
I think so. Stuff starts to function differently.
Well, you know, and I don't know if I said this to you, but and I wrote this on Facebook the other day.
Yes.
It's something that I've joked about for a while, and I just finally went public with it. My breasts have been growing, not sagging. They're just growing.
Oh.
And they grow as I get older. They just get bigger and bigger.
Congratulations.
And I said, well, it's not congratulations because I don't like it because they're way too big.
Okay.
And I said they're like a really good sourdough starter, right? They won't stop growing. And some friend of mine made a comment. Well, that's old lady stuff, you know?
Really?
Yeah, and he's in his late 60s, and I wrote him back and I said, "How are your balls? How are your balls hanging?" But it's not like people thought I was complaining because they were growing down. They're not growing down. They're growing out. They're growing
right,
wide.
Okay. Got it.
So anyway, and you know, I guess that is an age thing. They're just getting bigger and bigger.
It is an age. I don't know. I think almost like I built up to my 60th birthday and like I was, you know, I'm training. I still am going to the gym like 4 times a week. But I'm training, I'm getting ready, and I'm like pumped. And then I had this tremendous like emotional letdown after the birthday party was over because I was so, you know, so much adrenaline. And then I start noticing these things. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get them taken care of. No, I'm just done with it. I'm fucking done with it.
So you're working out all the time.
Yes, correct.
I mean, I could see it. I could see it in your face, and you know, you look like you're really pumped and you look toned. When are we going to see you without a shirt on?
It's a very good question. My answer is not today, but
you've been
soon.
teasing it. You've been teasing it. You've been teasing it for quite some time.
I will do it. When the time is right.
All right.
When the time is right. So I went to see the Neil Diamond musical called Beautiful Noise at the Pantages.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about it?
No.
Haven't heard good or bad?
Haven't heard good or bad.
Okay. Listen to this. Bad. That's what I say. I didn't say this on the radio because I don't want to just like blow up at a musical or whatever, but it's really, really hacky. The guy sounded just like Neil Diamond, but he had the charisma of an ashtray. I mean, honestly, it was almost like I was watching everybody else on stage and not the lead, even though he was the one singing because he didn't have the wattage. Like other people popped on that stage. He did not. His voice, you would say, he definitely sounds exactly like Neil Diamond. But in terms of acting, in terms of charisma, or Riz, as the kids call it, none.
Did Neil Diamond or Sadako, is it?
Neil Diamond, yeah.
Neil Diamond.
Yeah,
okay, so
Diamond.
Neil
All
Diamond.
the songs, yeah.
Now, did Neil Diamond have a lot of charisma? I don't remember him. He
well,
did?
That's a fair question. This is the conversation I had with Juan afterwards. He's like, well, I mean, Neil Diamond, I watched some interviews. He's really kind of boring, and this guy played him boring. And I'm like, well, I mean, then it's probably not a good subject for a musical. By the way, on top of everything else, the whole thing is set as a therapy session. Okay, so it's him and a shrink. And then there's this group of dancers that come in and they do Neil Diamond songs while he's sitting there with the shrink. I'm like, the whole thing was so contrived. It didn't work for me at all. It was fun to hear the songs and bump, bump, bump. So good, so good, so good. But beyond that, no.
You have to look up. Meryl Marco did a parody of that song. I said,
Yes.
said, and then it says like, not even the chair.
Correct.
Right?
This is what
Okay.
I'm talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
not even the chair.
Yeah.
Well, then he humanized the chair, and the chair has lips, and the chair is talking, and the chair's like, "What do you mean, not even the chair?" And then the chair had some had personality and had some thoughts, and the chair had
That's
a
funny.
take on the song that was excluding her or him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is hilarious. You
That
have
is
to look
great.
it up.
Because those lyrics are so stupid. And no one heard it all, not even the chair. It's
Not
like
even the chair.
You
And
are
the
a
chair heard it. The
songwriter.
chair was like, why are you talking for me?
Yeah, it's such a weird song. It's like there are two songs like that. No one heard it all, not even the chair. And if I was a sculptor, but then again, no. Well, why did you say you're a sculptor and then you're not a sculptor? Like you had time to write this out. And instead you've got like this verbal correction of yourself in the song, Sir Elton John. So I wish you would have been at Beautiful Noise with me and Juan, because the weirdest thing happened. The people behind us apparently had never been to a Broadway style show because they brought potato chips.
Oh, God.
And for every song, every time the Neil Diamond actor, and I don't even want to give his name, the Neil Diamond actor opened his mouth, we would hear this. He sounds so much like him. It's like through the entire show. He sounds so much like him. It's like, I know, I get it. No, this is like the 11th song sung blue. It sounds so much like him. It's like, stop already. And
Were they old? Were they old guys?
they were old. Yeah, it was an old
Okay.
couple. And he just kept saying, it sounds so much like him. And they had normal conversations. And all of us around, and so there were people next to me, behind us, behind them, around them. All of us, I'm sure, were completely irritated, and nobody said a fucking word the entire time. And I cannot figure out why nobody said anything.
Well, I know why you wish I was there, because
You
you know
would've.
who would have said something.
You would have said, shut the fuck up. I'm watching a show here.
Oh, okay. Well, a perfect example. I go to the doctor the other day when I went to get my chest x-ray,
Yep.
and there's a woman sitting across from me in the waiting room, and she has her phone on, and she's listening to something without earphones.
Okay.
And I'm reading my book, and I know I'm going to be there a while because they didn't take appointments, so it was just walk-ins. And I wait and I wait, and I said, "Excuse me," I said, "Do you have earplugs or earphones or something?" I said, because it's really loud and it's really annoying. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry." So she lowers it only a little bit. And
and
I
did
was-
you go back at it?
I was going to say something, and then she wasn't there. She was there with somebody. So when the person came out, then they left. But I was just about to tell her, shut it off.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like one of those things. I'm trying to remember how this goes. When everybody witnesses a crime and doesn't say anything, you know, those instances where everybody witnesses and nobody. That's what I felt was going on at Beautiful Noise. These people, we were all witnesses and nobody said anything about these people who were eating chips and saying, "You sound so much like them."
Well, yeah, I've had a lot of funny theater experiences. I don't go to the theater as much as I used to with Kathy Ladman, but
Right, I
we used
know.
to.
You don't go to the shows as much.
Well, I'm actually we're seeing something. Well, I'm trying to think. I don't remember, but a whole group of women comics. We would get together and we buy a package or whatever. So Kathy and I used to go to the theater all the time, and there was always some situation that would happen. So one time we go, and there's a guy with the worst toupee we had ever seen in our lives, that we came so close to having
Oh,
a toupee intervention.
No.
We
You
didn't
can't
say
do that.
anything.
You can't
We
do
didn't
that.
say anything.
Okay.
But we couldn't believe that the people he was with allowed him to leave the house like that.
Yeah.
And it was so bad. It was the holy grail of bad toupees.
Really? The worst, huh?
Oh my God.
Really?
And we were like, and we were, he was like right there and we were whispering, but we were like, I mean, like, does he not have a mirror in his house? How does he not know?
Yeah. Why is nobody in his life saying anything?
I said something to a friend of mine once who had a toupee.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
What'd you
he
say?
was a friend. I
He
said,
was a
you gotta
friend?
take, I said, you gotta stop it. You gotta take that off. It's ridiculous. You're a good looking guy. You're losing your hair, but you're handsome. You have like a Ed Harris thing going on. Just stop it. And I said, if you really want to know how women feel about this, women don't give a shit that you don't have hair. And it's not like he didn't have any hair. He was just, his hair was thin and he was losing it, but he was so handsome.
Yeah.
I said, you're not attractive with this. Women don't like that, don't like guys with toupees. And he stopped wearing it.
So when I was working in Ohio, in Toledo, Ohio, there was a sportscaster named Michael Reggai, and he was on channel
Ruggai or Reggai?
Reggai, R-E-G-H-I, Reggai. And he was losing his hair. And one day, he went on the news, and he wasn't losing his hair anymore. He had hair. And so me, being a zany morning radio guy, immediately started talking about Michael Ruggai and his new hair. So brutal, so cruel.
Oh,
But I was, it was funny. It was funny.
wow.
Michael
Yeah.
Ruggai. He's still working.
Yeah.
Still got the good hair.
And he still has the toupee.
Still has the toupee. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should I tell it? Yeah, I'll tell that story because it's a podcast. So anyways, I was dating this guy years and years ago, and super nice guy, really nice guy. Wore a ball cap all the time, just regular guy. And when we finally did get into bed, his hat came off,
Oh, he went to bed with the hat on?
completely bald. Had no idea. So he's got normal hair all around, but the hat comes off just totally bald. And I was like, this has been a case of fraud. This
Yeah.
is false advertising. I had
Totally.
no idea this was going to happen when that hat came off. So I did not wind up seeing him again as a date. I saw him as a friend, but the hair thing was just like,
Well, I mean, was this upsetting to you because you liked him? I mean, you said he was
I
a
did
nice
like
guy,
him.
and
I
you
liked him
obviously,
when he had hair.
and I mean, you were attracted to him, but
Yes.
when he took the hat off,
No more.
whee.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what happened. So there you have it. There's a bunch of stuff. Now, Ozzy Osbourne, the moment I found out that Ozzy Osbourne passed away, I thought of 𝐄𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐧𝐠 because you were so involved, nominated for multiple Emmys for producing on the Osbournes. Describe Ozzy, your experience with him.
Ozzy, I wasn't very close with Ozzy, but I was at the house a lot with Ozzy. So it's not like I never had conversations with him.
Right.
But Ozzy was the sweetest, funniest, kindest, little crazy, but just a delightful, delightful person. And he was hilarious.
Yeah.
And just, seeing him with his kids. I mean, they all loved one another.
Yeah.
Everybody
yeah.
thought that, oh, they're this crazy family. They all loved one another, and that's why the show was so successful, is that they really, they really were who they were.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well, there were so many cameras, it seems like there was nowhere to hide except to be yourself, right?
But a lot of time, well, this was the early stages, and it's funny. One of our executive producers was on the Today Show,
Mhm.
and they referenced the show as reality TV, and he said, we never really called it that.
Mhm.
It was comedy documentary. These were
Interesting.
docu half hours, comedy docu half hours, and that's really the truth. And the thing is that later on, I mean, they could have said to us, "We don't want you shooting this. We don't want you to shoot us in the bedroom. We don't want you shooting, us waking up in the morning or going to sleep at night. And we don't want you to see maybe some of the ugly arguments that we have or whatever." But that was not them.
Hmm.
And that was why the show was so successful, is that they never censored themselves. And like, I was interviewed, the New York Post, one of the journalists contacted me. So I was interviewed for it.
Cool.
And she said, "Do you remember anything that you didn't use because they didn't want you to use it?" And I said, "No."
Really? Nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
I think now, well, reality TV, that was more reality TV than the reality TV we have today. Today, there's producers saying, "Go turn that table over, throw that drink, pull that weave." I mean, that's going on now. Say this, say that. It's completely scripted.
Oh, totally scripted. Totally scripted. And it wasn't always totally scripted in the beginning, but like, I remember I had a meeting once with some producer for a job.
Mm-hmm.
And he made some comment about Ozzy not saying, and I said something like, "Nobody told Ozzy what to say. Nobody told the kids or Sharon. Nobody told anybody on the show what to say."
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was really arrogant. And he actually said to me, "Well, if I was on the show, he would have listened to me." And I said, "Well, thank God you weren't on the show."
Yeah, really.
But first of all, because it would have been insulting.
Yeah. I almost felt like it was like Ozzy and the family in their natural habitat.
Exactly.
And that's why I think the show resonated and worked, because it felt honest and it felt real.
And it was unprecedented creative freedom. I never had so much creative freedom on any show that I've ever done since.
Wow.
Well, probably Newlyweds to a certain extent, but Jessica's father had a lot to say, because he had an executive producer credit. And he sometimes would ask us to take certain things out. And they were a lot more guarded than the Osbournes.
Mm-hmm.
But the powers that be, all the suits at MTV, they let us do whatever we wanted. And you don't get that. You don't get that unless you're Larry David or you're Louis C.K. calling the shots.
Sure. Well, as we say on Mason in Ireland, for the godfather of metal, hail fellow, well met. What a life, and what a legend. And by the way, it's so cool that he got to perform just a few weeks ago with Black Sabbath. I mean, that he got to have that sort of farewell concert. Really, really cool. Legendary guy. So, Untamed is a new series on Netflix. Eric Bana plays Agent Turner. Lily Santiago plays partner Vasquez. It is a really gripping, and the word I use more than any with this show is harrowing. It's a harrowing crime drama. I felt nervous during lots of sequences in this show. Like, for example, the very beginning. I mean, if you've not watched the show, you may know. The very beginning, where they're climbing
they're mountain climbing
face of the rock, and the body falls down. And I'm like, it was heart-stopping, right?
It really was.
And so that show grabbed me at that moment, and I absolutely loved it. And there were so many instances where I thought I had a visceral reaction, like when she was stuck in the
cave,
the mine shaft.
The mine shaft.
Oh my God!
Yes.
It's like, and the water's coming up, and he's telling her that when the bats flew at her, I'm like, visceral reaction to the very end. All the stuff at the very end, I won't necessarily give it away, but so tense and so dramatic and so unexpected. I just thought this show nailed it. I loved this series.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it, because when you said that it was one of the best shows you've seen so far, for some reason, it just didn't seem like your kind of show.
That's interesting. Why do you think?
I just didn't think that you were going to like it so much. And then I thought, well, Eric Bana is really, really cute. So
Juan really has an Eric Bana thing. I do not.
you don't?
Juan, oh no, I
He's
don't.
very sexy.
I think he's kind of everybody's type.
And he's Australian too. I mean, so you put an Australian accent on him, forget it.
Yeah.
I think he's very, very hot.
Yeah, no, he's everybody's type. He's a very good looking guy. Juan kept watching for that reason.
Okay.
When
Well, I
does
thought
Eric
one
come
of
back?
you were watching for that reason.
Yeah. But I just thought it was such a densely plotted, carefully crafted. The writing was amazing.
The writing was really good.
They had so many storylines coming together at the same time. It was such a rich story. And I thought that the Sam Neill's always great. Eric Bana was terrific. Lily Santiago, who plays the partner, awesome. She was great.
And I can't believe I don't remember this actress's last name, but Katie, who's been on our show
O'Brien,
a lot. O'Brien. She has such a Katie O'Brien vibe.
Right down to the dimple.
Yes.
I thought for a while, I had to look it up. I think that's Katie O'Brien. It wasn't, but it definitely looks like her. But I thought she gave a really great performance. The scenery, it's shot in Canada, but it's doubling as Yellowstone.
Not Yellowstone.
No, Yosemite. It's shot in Canada, but this scenery, the backdrops are amazing.
Right.
I love the show. Did you like it?
I did like it. I mean, there were, I get very, very critical. There were moments where it's like, oh, how did they find her there? Or how did they show up? It's like, oh, they just all of a sudden show up when something horrible is going to happen to somebody.
Right.
Those moments to me were a little too much. But the mislead in the beginning, I was kind of confused because I thought that he and his ex-wife had 2 sons, and one of them died. I didn't because he's talking to his kid.
Right.
He's talking to his kid in the beginning, and I thought that he had another son that died.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a cool mislead.
His kid is alive in his imagination. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I also thought it was interesting. He's lost a kid. Sam Neill is turning his back on a kid.
That was a great twist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't that surprising to you?
Shocking.
I never saw that coming.
Did not see it lead there at all.
But I kept on thinking there had to be something else going on, because the guy who they kept on making you think killed her or had something to do with it, that young guy.
Yep.
Because you saw him with the rifle, she got shot, whatever. And he was so sketchy, but it seemed like, well, it'll be a disappointment if it's him, know?
Yeah, right. So do you think there will be another season of this? By the way, I checked the streaming charts, and it's #1 on Netflix right now, so a lot of people are watching it. Do you think there will be a season 2?
Yeah, I hope there is.
Yeah, I hope he goes to a different...
it goes, and it's a different case, and he's going to go to... Oh, that's right, he's going to go to another town. That's right, because he left.
Yeah, so he's going to take his act somewhere else.
I don't know, maybe.
I actually admire a show that says we're one and done.
Yeah.
There's something I respect about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if White Lotus was just 1 season, people wouldn't be bitching about season 3.
Right.
Everybody started. I think this is the Bear syndrome. Did you watch the Bear this last season?
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to.
It's so much better.
I'm teasing you like you're teasing me with taking your shirt off.
Okay.
I will watch it.
Excellent. We will stay tuned. All right, here we go. Our guest today has appeared in hundreds of movies and TV shows, from his Oscar-nominated role in Runaway Train to Star 80 to The Dark Knight to The Gypsy King. I mean, on and on and on. And he has published his new memoir, Runaway Train, or The Story of My Life So Far. Eric Roberts joins us. Eric, thanks a lot for coming on, man.
Anytime. It's my pleasure.
Of all the guests we've had, you may have the most IMDb credits. I have never seen as many IMDb credits as you have. You have worked so long in this business and have really put together a legendary career. I kind of want to go back to the beginning, though. When you were growing up, what made you think acting was the way you would spend your life?
Well, it's hard to say because you think as a child that you know things that you don't. But by the time I was about 8 years old, I had decided I was going to be the best actor who ever breathed. I was determined, and I knew what acting was. I knew what emotional recall was just on my own exploration, and so I it was all I've ever really sought outside myself, and it just happened organically. So I'm glad I kept at it.
So when you say 8 years old, what did you see as an 8-year-old? Was it a movie? Was it a TV show? What sparked it?
It was the accumulation at that time because I did my first play at 4. And I guess it was just the accumulation. It was the fact that, oh, you can keep doing this. Oh, this can be what I do. And that feeling, because I had already been in 3 or 4 years of repertory theater. So it was my first love.
And then at some point you run away to New York. And you broke into the business. I know soap operas were a big part of the early part of your career. And I've heard other actors say that working on a soap opera is really, really good training as an actor. Is that true?
Well, that was my first real paycheck. And it is the best training there is because it's instant copy. You got to be ready right away and you got to be good at it. I was never good at it. And even knew it then. I'm bad here, boy. Every day I felt bad. Excuse me. They fired me. Because I would change dialogue and I was told not to, and I agreed not to, but I did anyway. So they fired me. So I was young and silly.
Well, because they always say, I've heard about soap operas that they change the dialogue so much that it actually is very difficult to do because you have to learn new lines on the fly.
They hand you rewrites every 5 or 10 minutes. It is a nightmare. The only work I've ever done that's harder was Suits. Suits, you speak in monologues and you get rewrites every 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's rough.
I want to ask you, I think this was your big break, King of the Gypsies, or at least it was one of the ones that I absolutely loved, directed by Frank Pearson. I love all those character-driven movies from the 70s, and it's a crime drama, but it's also about cultural identity. What was the audition process for that movie like, and what's the legacy of that film?
Well, I had to audition 5 times, and then I screen tested, and they gave it to me based on that. And that movie was incredible for me because of the experience. Those 5 stars and the unknown Eric Roberts working together. And it was a dream come true. Frank Pearson was very good to me. And I had a great time making that movie. It's from the best memories I have of working in my adult life.
So when you get a film like that and you're young, do you think that, okay, this is it. I've arrived and I am always going to work?
Well, I was told by my manager at the time, this is it. You have arrived. You're always going to work. And I went, oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
So one of your big movies then came in the 80s, which was Runaway Train. And I know it's part of, we'll talk about your memoir, which you released last year. It is one of the great thrillers of the 80s. You were nominated for an Academy Award. Another great character-driven movie. You and Jon Voight, such great chemistry, all on a train in Alaska. What was the making of that movie like? And did you and Jon Voight just have instant chemistry?
Jon Voight and I only really know each other as those characters, but we love each other as those characters. And Jon is one of the hardest working, most generous, most gifted actors I've ever known. and I will always have great homage to him. And that movie was so hard to make that when I think about it, I get tired. That was a hard movie to make. And
Hard in what way?
it was hard physically, and it was cold every day, all day. And that is not fun. And I'm not a cold weather guy. I don't ski. So it was not fun for me one little bit. But the character I loved, and the story I loved. So I had a good time.
So when you say that the two of you knew each other just as the characters, is it uncommon, or what's it like when you get thrust into getting cast in something and you've never met the actors before? Do you get to spend time? I mean, is it encouraged sometimes from a director that you guys should go out and have a couple drinks or whatever to kind of get to know one another? What's been your experience?
Well, let me tell you about how it's different. Back in 1983, I get offered a movie called The Pope of Greenwich Village in January.
Yeah.
We're going to start to shoot it in September. I get the script in January, pick a part, Paulie or Charlie. Here's the book. I read the book, I read the script, I pick a part. I call the producers. I pick a part, I tell them. They say, well, read the script again because we'd like you to pick the other part. So read the script again. I don't pick the other part. They say, okay, fine. It's only January 31st. Okay, so I have February, March, April, May, June, July, August to prep a project. And I do. Okay, that's what it used to be like. Now you get offered movies on Friday to start to shoot on Monday. And that's big movies. That's not the independence necessarily. But it's pretty much everything now. You get maybe a week.
Wow, so you wanted the opposite role. It's knowing the film as well as I do, it's hard to even imagine that you would have played the other part and Mickey Rourke would have played your part.
Who knew?
Yeah. And by the way, you worked with Geraldine Page on that movie, who is just one of my all-time favorite actresses. I mean, just amazing. What was she like?
Well, we knew each other through one of her best friends was my girlfriend then, and I knew Jerry through my girlfriend, and so I also knew Rip, and I used to go to their house and loved them both. They're both incredible people. Jerry was maybe the best actor who's ever breathed, and Rip wasn't bad himself.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
it's one of my all-time favorite movies, and one thing that I wanted to ask you is, you have a perm in this film. Whose idea was it for you to have a perm?
it was mine. When I read the script and I picked the part, I saw him as a wannabe, but a likable wannabe, not And part of the Italian persona was that hair. I spent a lot of time watching guys downtown in Little Italy, before I decided I was going to do that. I did that just for my birthday that year. So I did that in April of that year. I said yes to the part in January.
So they called it, what did they call it? The 70s Barbara Streisand perm? Or the
I never heard
70...
that, but I'll take it. Sure.
Well, it's such a statement about a guy getting a perm, because when I was growing up, I'm in my late 60s. I knew a lot of women that got perms, but if a guy got a perm, pardon the expression, but it was douchey.
You're confusing it, though. Eric got a perm so the character would have curly hair. The character didn't get a perm. The character had curly hair.
Got it. So the character had curly hair. The character didn't get a perm. You got a perm.
Okay. You got a perm. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, the perms, Sue, were very popular in the 70s. My dad had a perm. My brothers had perms. They were like very, very common back in the day.
I'm not a guy who would get a perm and I get a perm. It was just I saw that character very skinny with curly hair.
Yeah.
So I got a perm to have curly hair.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you wrote your memoir last year, Runaway Train, or The Story of My Life So Far.
No, it took me 2 years to write the memoir, and it just came out.
just came out. Oh, I didn't
It
realize
just
it
came out
just
just a
came out.
minute ago. Yeah,
Okay, so
just a
why
minute. That's
why
why
did
we're
you
talking
feel
about it. It's brand new.
why did you feel like this was the right time for a memoir?
Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't want to write a memoir. I've been asked the past 10 years, maybe every day, when are you writing your memoir? I'm not. I was never going to, never interested in writing a memoir. And I don't like memoirs from actions. It's always the same format. It's always how they struggled, became, and blah, blah, blah. And it's always the same format, always the same story with different names and different dates. And so I didn't want to be a part of that. So I always said no. Publishers call me, actors call me, directors call me, my friends call me. Everybody called me for 10 years. Every day I got asked this question by somebody somewhere. So my wife finally comes to me and she tells me this list of publishers are all standing by that she's been keeping from me. Eric, you got to write a book. Now my wife is my rock. My wife is also my best everything. So when she said you got to do something, I go, okay, help me do it. And that's kind of what happened. And so I wrote this book. It took me 2 years. She was my editor. I had a great co-writer, Sam, and I wrote a book. It's hard to write a book. I'm not a writer, but I wrote this book, and it's completely honest, and it is unusual in its honesty, in that the honesty I read in other books, I don't quite swallow all the time. So I hope my book will be jarringly, soberly, understandingly, cleanly honest.
Yeah.
And it's also not attractive, but it's not unattractive on purpose. Just some stuff isn't necessarily attractive.
Sure.
So you say that you're not a writer. So it must have been, I would think, daunting, because I'm a writer. I've never written a book. I've written scripts. I've written essays. But the idea of writing a book, what was your process? Did you have like, I'm going to get up at a certain time every day and I'm going to write a certain amount? How did that work out?
Well, I am a morning guy. So I would get up early, before the sun or with the sun. And my morning is spent doing something very physical at the gym. And then I come home and start my day. And my day starts between 7 and 8. I'm back from the gym. I start my day. And that's what I do first, is my green tea and the book. Because after the gym is when I kind of opened up. So I apply it. And my wife was, though, my proofreader, as it were. And it was kind of fun to learn about myself, how I would present things, because I was not dishonest, but I would bend the truth. And she tell me, you're bending the truth. I said, what do you mean? This, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. And I go fix it. And it became a lesson about self. And it became really kind of fun. And,
nice.
And satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think cathartic, because you're very open in this book about a lot of aspects of your life, relationships with family, drug addiction. Cathartic, would you say?
Cathartic's a great word. It's a big word to me, but it's a good one. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So you write about, among other things, your relationship with your sister, Julia, who you went to New York first, then she followed you. Tell me about that relationship and how did it evolve?
Well, she's the baby of the family. There are 3 of us. There were 4 of us. We lost one to suicide. But she's in the baby, and she's our precious one. She was always the cutest, always the funniest, and depending on who you're talking to, always the smartest. So there you have it.
Yeah.
What's it like to watch your sister become the biggest movie star in the world?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because I'd already had an Academy Award nomination, 3 Golden Globes. I was established. I was comfortable. I was fine. To watch her explode like that over Pretty Woman was so much fun to observe and to be a touching part of, but not in the storm, because it was quite a storm.
Mm-hmm. You got heavily involved in drugs in the 80s and the 90s. You were working through that whole stretch too. What was rock bottom? What was the bottom for you?
Well, there were two. There was one, the physical bottom, when I OD'd, ended up on the bathroom floor. That'll do it. But there's also when you know somebody who is very sober and they have the time for you when you're not, and you see the difference. And that seesaw is a great lesson. So it's both the physical end of the line, you end up on a floor, and there's also the understanding that there's something out there that is as good and or better than you, and the only way to have it is to be sober.
So what was it like while you were working? I mean, were you high during a lot of shoots?
Oh no, you can't you can't go to work high if you're me, because you can't talk. I have trouble talking sober, so if I get high on anything, I can't talk. So no, it's not at work. I take great pride in my work and would always protect my work, but it was my life I was destroying, and I did a good job for a lot of years, and learned through the kindness of an individual what kindness was. I learned how to be kind to myself, and then how to be kind to others.
So what are the good addictions that you have in your life right now? The positive.
Well, it sounds real corny, but just to sum it all up, the Beatles said it best: all you need is love. And if you really apply that, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. I looked at your IMDb page. You've worked so much. Tell me what you think maybe goes under noticed. A movie, a project, a television project, whatever it is that you feel like gets overlooked and is really important to you.
Well, have I told you the story about why my list is so long? Have I told you that?
No.
Well, my list is kind of normal up until the late 90s. Like every movie star, I did 1 to 3 movies a year, and then came digital when they took film, so everybody on the camera became the studio, and they started calling me direct. And my wife comes to me in the late 90s and goes, 96, 7, 8, goes, "We're getting so many albums a day. I can't deal with it. We have to hire more people if you want to pursue this." And I did. So we did, thinking it would last a while. But that was 30 years ago.
Wow.
And they're still calling me every day, all day. So I'm still going every day, all day. And I love them for calling me. I have a great time doing what I do. And who could ask for more?
What's the great thing on that list that maybe we haven't seen?
That maybe you haven't seen? Like, you want old, new, what are you
genre? Most proud of?
Well, I have a lot of movies, so I have a lot of pride. King of the Gypsies, Star 80, Runaway Train, It's My Party, Love is the Gun, Purgatory. Those are 6 favorites that kind of span the whole career pretty much.
Totally forgot about It's My Party. That is such a great movie.
Thank you very much.
I mean, super sad, but as a gay guy myself, I was so moved by that project. It's so
thank
amazing.
You so much for the compliment, because that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Star 80 real quick, because you play this horrible, horrible psychopathic character who's real. So when you're playing somebody like that who actually exists, does it affect you As an actor, I mean, what do you take home? What do you leave, on set? Because he was so vile.
Well, when you play characters, you can't play results. You have to play the journey. I played their journey. And the result is he was a vile, despicable, dislikable son of a gun, blah, blah, blah. Yes. But I had to play the journey. So as him, I had to be comfortable with myself. With my love for her, I had to believe it. With my love for what I did, I had to believe it. With my love for us as a couple, I had to believe it. And then thinking that she was my whole contact to fame and fortune. And that if she vanished, so did that. And that's the way little people think. And he was a little person. And he did a despicable thing because he was so lost and so scared. It's not forgivable, certainly. But it's understandable, certainly. And especially when you explore those kinds of personalities that I did as I played him, and you learn those guys are not unusual. Those guys are a dime a dozen, and they're around us every day. And when you realize that, you don't overact.
Yeah. Philosophical question. I used to go see 60 movies in the theaters every year. I mean, I was just a hardcore movie junkie. I've been to see, I did the math before this, 13 movies this year. What is wrong with the movie business? Like, I'm not getting enough movies, like, especially we're talking about movies like Runaway Train and King of the Gypsies and like these classics. I don't get that anymore. What's wrong with the movie business?
Well, we don't have anybody involved in it who wants to be in the movie business. They want to be famous, or they want to get rich, or they want to make noise, or they want to make a splash, whatever it is they're after, but they don't really want to be what it takes to be in the movie business, which is hard work and complete focus and absolute dedication and no sleep ever in any department. That's kind of how it works. I haven't slept since I was 21 years old. And it's just the way it works. And if you're not going to be there, you're not going to create magic. And that's what it takes. And it takes all of that. And it takes a group of them at the same time. So it takes people who have that in common. We don't have that anymore. We don't train them anymore. We don't delight them anymore to want to do it anymore. We don't do that. So we have a bunch of people now who are flipping switches, autofocus, here we go, and action. Well, let it roll. Action again. Yeah, let it roll. Action again. Cut. No, don't cut. Let it roll. Okay, action again. Okay, launch. That's how it feels now. It's not fun. It's only fun at my desk or my homework and in my travels on the way to set. Sometimes I meet a really cool young director. A lot of times, in fact. Sometimes I meet a really cool VP. Sometimes I meet a really cool co-star. And then it's all worth it. It really is. And it's a lot of fun. But sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
But it's like anything in life. It's just that my life is more talked about in the public eye. It's no different from anybody else's. Really. It's just famous.
Do you think? Oh, I was going to ask you. Do you think that that there aren't a lot of great movies being written, or do you think that there are great movies being written that don't get greenlit because it's not popular?
The hard part is the writing. The hardest part is the writing. That's your foundation. That's the hardest part. And we don't have a lot of people who love that hard work anymore. That's hard work. It's hard work and it's lonely focused. You're by yourself. You got to do this. Get it done, dude. And the better it is as you go through it, the better they want it to end. So the responsibility grows as you write. It's a big deal. And it's hard. And it's lonely, like I said. And you don't get support up till after it's done. So, to answer your question, yes, there aren't enough scripts being written that are good enough to be shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Your daughter, Emma, is now a big movie star,
Yes, she
which
is.
has got to be thrilling. Is there an advantage? In other words, do you show her kind of where the pitfalls are? Are you a good advisor to her? You've kind of been down this road?
You're not a parent, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Parents can't tell their kids what they'd love to. They just can't. If you do, you're going to dig yourself a hole you'll never get out of. You cannot offer advice. It has to be asked for. It seldom is. When it is, you've got lots of answers, but it seldom is. And also, I watch my child go from not being a good actor to becoming a fabulous actor. So I'm as proud as a person can possibly be.
Nice. I kind of wanted to finish with a couple of just like fill in the blanks. This is just random fill in the blanks. All right. So I got 3 of these. People always think I'm blank.
Dangerous.
I wish someone had told me back in the 80s blank.
You get nothing back.
And if I weren't acting, I'd be blank.
In trouble.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, this has been terrific. Legendary career. The book is out now, Runaway Train, or The Story of My Life So Far. Can't wait to see all the roles you have next. I know there will be many of them. Eric Roberts, thanks so much for doing this. We appreciate you coming on.
I just want to pound it one more time. I'm so proud of this book. I hope you people will address it.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric.
Peace out,
Can't wait.
guys.
Yeah, great. Can't wait to read it.
Awesome,
I
Eric.
can't wait to have you read it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for doing this. A huge fan. And I had fun. I went back and looked at King of the Gypsies. And it's funny. It seems timely because the Romani people have to be like the biggest outsiders, no matter where they go. And this idea of gypsy is such a, I guess, is it a slur now to call someone a gypsy?
It's always been a slight slur, all depending on where you're coming from, but it's still also a badge of honor. So it's got both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. It is a great movie.
Frank Pearson was a great writer, and Sven Nykvist could shoot a picture.
And did he write Dog Day Afternoon?
He sure did, Pop.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not bad. That's not a bad resume right there.
He was a cool cat to know. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate it. Say hello to your wife for us. I know she's right next to you, but thank you. She walked away, but yeah, thank her for helping
I'll
us.
pass it on. Sure.
Okay, cool.
You guys are so lovely and approachable. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Eric.
it, man. Thank you. There you have it, Eric Roberts laying himself bare in his memoir. Sue, would you write an honest memoir telling everything, or would you, as Eric said, bend the truth?
I think I'd be pretty honest.
Would you?
And my parents passed away when I was, in my late 20s and then when I turned 30.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in my life, I thought, well, I can say and I can write about things that I never would have said or written about if my parents were still alive.
That's true. Yeah.
So I feel like I have kind of free reign to just not make my parents upset about things.
I would totally bend the truth to make myself look better. I'm a truth bender.
Well, it's not even so much of making me look better. It's just being very honest about a lot of my stories. And a lot of the stories of like my childhood and the bad things I did.
Yeah, right.
That if my parents ever knew half the shit that I did, they would be so disappointed and so they would be mortified.
Yeah, someday I will write a memoir because I wasn't doing bad stuff. Bad stuff was being done. So it's a different dilemma.
Bad stuff was being done to you?
Well, my dad was a an alcoholic, abusive. I mean,
Okay.
never hit me, right? But that's the kind of stuff
Yeah.
that would be in the book.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, if my dad's gone, so I can say this now, but he could be a real asshole.
Yeah. I mean, my father hit me as a kid.
Did he? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he spanked and he slapped me in the face once because I came home really
geez.
late. I mean, to me, it was like, you can hit above the waist.
Oh,
Slapping your daughter
yeah.
when she's 14 years old because she came
there
home
should
late.
be rules. Should be rules there. Yeah, that is rough.
Yeah,
that is
that's
rough.
not
All
good.
right. Well, that's a hell of a book and a hell of a way to end the show. My dad's a drunk and Sue's getting slapped.
Well, now don't you want me to write a book?
Oh, now I want to hear about it. Yes, get started right away. There you have it. There's your Culture Pop podcast. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the show on YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify. We love you if you do it. And you can leave us a 5-star rating and review or leave us a comment in the comments section on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Sue, great seeing you. And we will see everybody next time on the Culture Pop podcast.